the battle among Democrats over vaccine passports, Boston versus New York. One guy who has been a stalwart defender of freedom and liberty and American virtue throughout all the last 18 months. He's Governor Ron DeSantis. And
I thought you were talking about me. I'm a little disappointed now, but okay.
You and me both, of course, obviously fit that criteria. But Governor DeSantis, there's a lot of lecturing and ridiculing, and you've probably seen some of these studies. Oh, this guy said he would never get COVID, and now he's got COVID, and here's a picture of him in a ICU ward. And you're like, is that really the kind of media that we want? DeSantis talked a little bit about that. Let's listen.
We obviously have some people that are not vaccinated that have been admitted to hospitals. Are you going to sit there? Are you going to sit there and criticize, or are we going to try to treat and try to help the folks? You know, I'm just sick of this judge. I'm sick of the judgmental stuff on some of this stuff. Nobody's trying to get ill here. Okay, there's people that were hermits for a year and a half that wore 6 masks and did that and still contracted it. Okay, so let's just be real here, and let's not indulge these things that somehow it's their fault for not doing it.
He illustrates two really important things here, Clay. One is that the media is on a straight jihad against DeSantis because Florida has become the beacon of freedom. It's in the middle of the pack in COVID deaths per 100,000, despite staying open. If lockdowns were so good, Florida should be far and away the worst. But you know that Sweden has basically no COVID deaths happening right now. Sweden never locked down. Remember we used to talk about Sweden a lot?
Yes.
The things that we said, okay, we'll eventually get the answers. We have those answers now, but the left, the lockdowners, the Democrats, they don't like them, so they ignore them. But they go after DeSantis. They lie about DeSantis, including the allegations that he changed data. I forget that woman's name. Total lie. The left made her into some kind of short-term hero. She's delusional. They also lied about how he had some special deal with Publix, which is a very well-known chain all across Florida that didn't even get first access. So they're trying to smear him. But Clay, there's another part of this too. There's this very weird, oh, if you get COVID now, it's like your fault thing. And that's been around for a while. And it just goes to show you that virtue signaling can eat away at some parts of the human brain. No one's getting COVID because they're a bad person or they did something wrong. This is luck or bad luck of the draw. Even when I got sick with COVID, I remember people asking me, what'd you do? Like I was in a drunk driving accident. They're like, why didn't you know you'd had too many or something? I'm like, I was walking around. I got sick a year into COVID, and I was walking around doing all the stupid crap that de Blasio's been making us do and all the lockdowners have the whole time. But they need to create this moral us and them. And they do it with DeSantis, of course, for political reasons, but they do it with everybody.
It's never existed, to my knowledge, in the history of a virus, right? A virus. Let's talk about the flu. You never sit around by and large and you're like, I got the flu. God, I blame so many other people who got me the flu, right? First of all, you usually don't know where you get it. That's how viruses work. You may be exposed multiple times and not get it, and then you get a short dose of sudden exposure and you get it, right? We all know how viruses work. But there is a moralizing going on now that didn't exist before, and I think DeSantis is hitting on that. Every time I pull up Twitter, it feels like there's somebody trending, and the trending story is this person said that he wasn't going to get the COVID vaccine, and now he's got COVID and he's really sick. And here's a picture of him in a nurse in an ICU ward. And the responses, if you look at him, are like, good for him. He deserves to die. And I'm like, what is going on here that this has ever been created?
And there are breakthrough cases. There are people who, for truly and universally understood medical reasons,
yes,
can't really get the vaccine. That's rare. That's very, very rare, but it does exist.
Yes.
And you do see this. You see this, oh, well, and, you know, and particularly if it's somebody who's on maybe a little bit on the younger end, they say, see, it's not just
happens
the elderly.
To you too.
I mean, I had a friend who years ago, very healthy young woman, I think she was 26 years old. She died in 24 hours from the flu.
Yes,
you know,
it happens.
This can happen to anyone in any number of contexts, but there is this psychosis that the left has with this is about being good or bad people.
It's morality.
And the good people are the ones that wear the 2 masks. They mask up the kids at home. They get the shot. They get another shot. They get a shot every 6 months after that. They're terrified all the time. They don't want to leave their homes. They don't want to live their lives.
They wear masks with their kids in their house.
And if you're not one of those people, you know what ultimately it comes down to? You make them feel, at some level, really insecure, because at some point this does just turn into lack of an understanding of risk and cowardice. There is a cowardice to masking up little kids in school. There's a cowardice to being unwilling to speak the truth about what we're really seeing.